Welcome to a deep dive into Berlin.
Right.
A city you might think, from the Brandenburg Gate to the Reichstag. But we're going beyond the typical tourist spots today. We're going to uncover the hidden gems, the local favorites, the places that truly capture the spirit of Berlin.
Yeah, it's a city with a rich and complex history reflected in its diverse neighborhoods, its art scene, and even its food. Our sources today offer a fascinating mix of practical tips, historical insights, and cultural experiences that reveal the soul of Berlin.
Okay, so let's start our exploration in Kreuzberg, a neighborhood known for its alternative vibe and multicultural atmosphere. One of the sources mentions Victoria Park, a park with a surprising feature, a replica of a waterfall right in the heart of the city.
Right, yeah, it's more than just a pretty sight. Victoria Park is a gathering place for locals with a beer garden and even a winery on its slopes. It exemplifies a key aspect of Berlin, embracing those unexpected juxtapositions where history and nature intersect with modern life.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a place with a different rhythm compared to the usual tourist attractions. Speaking of Kreuzberg's unique character, the sources also describe it as a global village, a melting pot of cultures and experiences.
Exactly, with its bustling ethnic eateries, vibrant street art, and even lost places like Drachenberg, a former military barracks now reclaimed by nature. Kreuzberg offers a glimpse into the city's layered history and its evolving identity.
Yeah, exploring a neighborhood like that with a traditional tour group might feel a bit too structured.
You're right, a self-guided tour using your smartphone could be a much better way to experience Kreuzberg. You could set your own pace and delve into the stories that resonate with you and discover those hidden corners that a tour bus might miss.
Yeah, it's like having a personalized travel guide in your pocket, leading you to the unexpected.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sightseeing. I love visiting iconic landmarks, but sometimes those long lines and crowds can be a bit overwhelming.
Right. That's where it's helpful to think outside the guidebook. Take the Berlin TV Tower, for example. It's an iconic landmark, but the lines can be incredibly long and the ticket prices are quite steep.
So what's the alternative? Is there a way to experience those breathtaking city views without the hassle?
Absolutely. Consider the Panorama Terrace at the Park Inn by Radisson Berlin Alexanderplatz. It offers incredible panoramic views of the city, including the TV tower itself, for a fraction of the cost and with significantly fewer crowds.
That's a great tip. And speaking of finding value, another source suggests considering the DDR Museum as an alternative to the vast collections of Museum Island.
The DDR Museum offers a focused and interactive experience delving into the history of East Germany, and it's significantly more affordable than the comprehensive Museum Island ticket. Plus, it's much smaller, so you can avoid feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of exhibits.
It's all about being strategic and finding those experiences that align with your interests and budget. Now, you mentioned street art earlier. I know Berlin is famous for its street art scene, especially the East Side Gallery. But the sources suggest that there are other places worth exploring for a more dynamic and evolving experience.
The East Side Gallery is historically significant, but Kreuzberg's street art scene is constantly changing, offering a raw and unfiltered glimpse into the city's creative spirit. You might even consider a guided street art tour to gain deeper insights into the artists and the stories behind the murals.
That's a great idea. It's like having an art expert unlock the hidden meanings and messages behind those vibrant murals. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about experiencing Berlin's culture without breaking the bank.
Berlin is a city that truly embraces accessibility, offering countless free and low-cost cultural experiences for those seeking breathtaking views without the price tag, the Flak Tower in Volksberg. Humboldt-Thane offers a historical perspective alongside its panorama.
Wow, a historical landmark with panoramic views. That's a fantastic combination. What other free viewpoints are worth checking out?
Drachenberg and Grunewald offer stunning sunset views. And for a truly unique experience, head to the 20th floor of the TU Berlin Mensa. It's a working cafeteria with expansive city views and no entrance fee. Imagine enjoying a meal with that backdrop.
Now that's what I call a budget-friendly view. It's amazing how Berlin integrates these unexpected viewpoints into everyday life. And what about free events? I love the idea of experiencing the city's energy through local events and gatherings.
Berlin is a city that thrives on its public spaces and community spirit. Mauerpark Karaoke on a Sunday afternoon is a legendary experience drawing crowds of locals and tourists alike for a fun and spontaneous sing-along.
It sounds like an amazing atmosphere. I bet those performances are filled with raw talent and a good dose of humor. What other free events are worth adding to our list?
The weekend markets at Boxhagener Platz are fantastic for soaking up the local vibe, browsing for unique finds and enjoying delicious street food. And during the summer, Berlin's open-air cinemas offer a magical cinematic experience under the stars.
Oh, okay, I'm definitely marking those down on my list. Speaking of culture, I know museums can be a big part of experiencing Berlin, but those entrance fees can add up quickly. Are there any strategies for experiencing the city's museums affordably?
Absolutely. Booking the Reichstag Dome online well in advance is essential as it's free. But incredibly popular, some institutions like Pal Populaire offer free or discounted tours on certain days, so it's worth checking their websites for those opportunities.
I love those off-the-beaten-path museum experiences. And what about those of us who are planning to visit multiple museums? Is there a cost-effective way to do that?
The Museum Pass is a great option if you plan to visit several museums, offering significant savings compared to individual tickets. And remember, visiting during off-peak hours, such as early mornings or late afternoons, can often mean fewer crowds and a more enjoyable experience.
Those are some great tips. It sounds like there are plenty of ways to experience Berlin's cultural riches without breaking the bank.
Exactly. With a little planning and research, you can unlock a world of cultural experiences that will leave you feeling enriched and inspired.
You know, all this talk about museums and viewpoints reminds me, you can't really experience Berlin without immersing yourself in its green spaces. It's a city where nature and urban life coexist in a really beautiful way.
You're absolutely right. Berlin's parks are integral to the city's character. One of the sources mentions Treptower Park, and it sounds like a perfect example of that blend you're talking about.
What makes Treptower Park so special?
Imagine this. You're strolling along the Spree waterfront, enjoying the sunshine, maybe stopping at a beer garden or two along the forested paths, and then you come across the Soviet War Memorial and Cemetery, a stark reminder of history amidst this peaceful landscape.
That's quite a contrast. It sounds like a place where you can relax and reflect, surrounded by natural beauty and historical significance. I'm sensing a theme here. Berlin seems to be full of these unexpected juxtapositions.
Exactly. It's a city that embraces its complexities, its past, and present its light and darkness. And for those interested in astronomy, Treptower Park is also home to the Archenhold Observatory, which houses the world's longest refracting telescope.
So you can contemplate the vastness of the universe after reflecting on history. That's a pretty powerful combination. Speaking of reflecting on history, the Topography of Terror is a site that's been on my list for a while. It's a museum built on the former site of the Gestapo and SS headquarters, right?
Yes, it's a very powerful and moving experience. The museum doesn't shy away from documenting the horrors of the Nazi regime, using documents, photographs, audio recordings, and films to paint a chilling picture of what happened.
I imagine it must be a difficult experience, but also a necessary one. It's important to confront these dark chapters of history so we can learn from them.
Absolutely. And the fact that they've preserved sections of the Berlin Wall and the death strip at the Topography of Terror adds another layer of intensity to the experience. It's a tangible reminder of the division and oppression that marked that period.
From a place of reflection to a hub of modern energy, let's talk about Potsdamer Platz. I remember reading that it was once a no-man's land divided by the Berlin Wall, but now it's a bustling center of activity.
Yeah, it's a remarkable example of Berlin's ability to rebuild and reinvent itself. The Sony Center with its iconic dome, the Legoland Discovery Center, and the Panorama Punk Observation Deck are just a few examples of what you can find there.
It sounds like Potsdamer Platz embodies the spirit of modern Berlin. Dynamic, diverse, and forward-looking. And speaking of iconic structures, we can't forget about the Berlin television tower, the Fernsehturm.
Right, it's such a powerful symbol of the city, visible from almost anywhere in Berlin. A constant reminder of its ambition and its place on the world stage. Imagine standing on that observation deck, 606 feet above the city, taking in those panoramic views.
It's definitely going on my list now for a deep dive into culture and history. The Jewish Museum seems like a must-visit.
It's not just the exhibits that are impressive. The building itself is a work of art designed by Daniel Libeskind. The architecture incorporates symbolic spaces like the Holocaust Tower and the Garden of Exile, adding layers of meaning to the experience.
And the fact that the core exhibition is free makes it accessible to everyone.
Oh, why?
Which I think speaks volumes about the museum's commitment to education and sharing these important stories.
Absolutely. It removes barriers and invites everyone to engage with this rich and complex history. Speaking of engaging with history, Alexanderplatz, Germany's largest square, is another place where past and present collide in a fascinating way.
I've heard it's a bustling transportation hub, but also a place with a lot of historical significance.
It was a key location in the city's history, and you can still see remnants of that past today, like the Feldseiter, the World Time Clock, a fascinating relic of the GDR era. It's a popular meeting spot and a reminder of Berlin's divided past.
And for families visiting Berlin, the Berlin Zoological Gardens, one of the oldest and largest zoos in Germany, is an absolute must.
Yeah, with over 20,000 animals from around the world, it's a chance to connect with nature and learn about conservation efforts. And speaking of learning for a journey back in time to the Cold War era, the DDR Museum offers a fascinating glimpse into life in East Germany.
I love the idea of interactive museums. I've heard you can even try on clothes from that era and explore a reconstructed DDR apartment at the DDR Museum. Which sounds like a really fun way to learn about history.
It's immersive history at its best. And speaking of immersive history, no exploration of Berlin would be complete without experiencing the Berlin Wall while only fragments remain. The Berlin Wall Memorial offers a powerful and poignant way to reflect on the city's division and reunification.
It's a site that evokes a mix of emotions. The preserved sections of the wall and the death strip serve as stark reminders of the Cold War's impact. But there's also a sense of hope and resilience in the way the city has healed and moved forward.
Absolutely. It's a story of division, but ultimately a story of reunification and the triumph of the human spirit. And for a more comprehensive understanding of the Cold War checkpoint, Charlie and its accompanying museum provide fascinating insights into this pivotal period.
Imagine standing at that former crossing point between East and West Berlin, where history unfolded before the world's eyes. It's a tangible reminder of the power of freedom and the human desire to connect, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable barriers.
Speaking of connecting with the city, have you heard of Tempelhofer Feld? It's a former airport that's been transformed into a public park, offering a vast expanse of open space right in the heart of Berlin.
Sounds like a breath of fresh air in the middle of the city. What can you do there?
It's a playground for the people. You can cycle, jog roller skate, have a barbecue, or simply relax and enjoy the wide open spaces. And the fact that the airport building has been preserved adds another layer of intrigue to the site.
It's amazing how Berlin repurposes its past, transforming these spaces into something that benefits the community. Speaking of community, I'm curious to learn more about Berlin's neighborhoods. Where should we start our exploration?
Kreuzberg, with its multicultural flair and alternative vibe, is a great place to dive into the city's diversity. It's a melting pot of cultures, a haven for artists and creatives, and a place where you can discover hidden cafes, vibrant street art, and a lively nightlife scene.
Sounds like my kind of place. What other neighborhoods should we explore?
For a more grungy and edgy atmosphere, Friedrichshain is the place to be. It's known for its abundance of clubs and bars, its creative energy, and its rebellious spirit. Boxhagener Platz, with its weekend market, is a great place to soak up the neighborhood's atmosphere.
And I've heard that Prenzlauer Berg is a neighborhood that's undergone a transformation in recent years, becoming a trendy spot while still retaining its historical charm.
You're right, it's become a popular choice for families and young professionals, with stylish boutiques, cafes, and restaurants popping up alongside its beautiful old buildings. Kollwitzplatz is a popular gathering spot in Prenzlauer Berg, especially for families.
I love those neighborhoods that blend old and new, where you can feel the history while also experiencing the city's contemporary energy. Speaking of experiencing history, I came across a mention of Little Big City in one of the sources. It sounds like a unique way to learn about Berlin's past.
Yeah, it's a miniature model of the city, showcasing 750 years of its evolution through intricate details and special effects. You can witness miniature versions of iconic landmarks and events from medieval times to the fall of the Berlin Wall, all in one place.
That sounds like a fun educational experience for all ages now. Let's talk about something that always gets me excited: shopping.
Berlin is a shopper's paradise, offering everything from world-class department stores to independent boutiques and flea markets.
Where should we start our retail therapy session?
For luxury shopping, Kurfürstendamm, often called Kudamm for short, is a must-visit. It's Berlin's answer to the Champs-Élysées, with flagship stores of international brands and elegant boutiques.
But it's not just about the big names and luxury brands. I've heard that Berlin has a thriving thrift scene with vintage shops, bookstores, and record stores scattered throughout the city.
Absolutely. The flea markets at Archenhold, Marheinekoplatz, Nelfkullen, and Rathaus-Schöneberg are treasure troves for bargain hunters. And those looking for unique souvenirs, you can find everything from vintage clothing and furniture to antique books and quirky trinkets.
And no shopping spree in Berlin would be complete without a visit to Kaufhaus-Westend, or Gateway for short.
Oh, it's an institution, Europe's largest department store, a world unto itself where you can find everything from designer fashion and cosmetics to gourmet food and homeware. It's definitely an experience.
I can already imagine getting lost in those aisles for hours.
Oh!
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We've shopped till we dropped. Now it's time to relax and enjoy a quintessential Berlin experience: beer gardens.
Ah, yes. Beer gardens are an integral part of Berlin's social fabric, offering a relaxed and convivial atmosphere where you can enjoy a cold beer, some hearty German food, and the company of friends.
Where should we head for our first beer garden experience?
For a taste of history, Berlin's oldest beer garden is a must visit. It's been a beloved gathering spot for locals since 1837, with a traditional atmosphere and a large chestnut tree-shaded garden.
Wow, over 180 years of history. That's impressive what other beer gardens are worth checking out.
For an idyllic setting by the river, Zenner is a great choice. It's located on the banks of the Spree River, offering beautiful views and a peaceful ambiance. And Klinkerkranisch, with its stunning roof terrace views, offers a more modern and trendy vibe, attracting a younger crowd.
It sounds like there's a beer garden for every taste and mood in Berlin. What about those of us who want to experience a traditional German beer garden in the heart of the city?
Café am Nordsee in the Tiergarten is always a popular choice. It's a beautiful spot with a large outdoor seating area surrounded by trees and a lake.
It sounds perfect for a warm summer evening. Before we move on, any tips for first-time beer garden visitors?
Just remember, tables aren't typically waited on in beer gardens, so you'll need to order at the bar and don't expect a huge menu. It's all about quality over quantity, showcasing the best of German brews and traditional snacks.
Now as the sun sets and the city lights begin to twinkle, Berlin's legendary nightlife comes alive. I'm curious to learn more about what makes Berlin's nightlife so special.
It's the energy, the diversity, the freedom of expression that you find in Berlin's clubs and bars, from the iconic techno clubs of Berghain and Trezor to the eclectic mix of bars and pubs scattered throughout the city. Berlin offers a nightlife experience that's truly unparalleled.
I've heard so much about Berlin's techno scene. It seems to be a real mecca for electronic music lovers. What's the atmosphere like at those clubs?
It's intense, immersive, and all about the music. You can expect world-renowned DJs, cutting-edge sound systems, and a crowd that's passionate about electronic music. But be warned, Berlin's clubs are known for their strict door policies, so do your research and be prepared for a bit of a challenge.
And for those who are looking for something a bit more laid back, what other options are there?
Berlin has countless bars with live music, cozy atmospheres, and a wide selection of drinks. You can find everything from jazz and blues to rock and indie music, depending on your taste. There are also many pubs with a more traditional vibe where you can enjoy a quiet drink and conversation with friends.
It sounds like Berlin's nightlife is as diverse and vibrant as the city itself, with something for every taste and preference.
Exactly. It's a place where you can let loose, express yourself, and create unforgettable memories. And speaking of unforgettable memories, for those who are curious about Berlin's darker side, there's a hidden gem that's sure to pique your interest.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What is it?
It's the Spree Park, an abandoned amusement park located in Treptower Park, once a popular destination. It's now a derelict site with overgrown rides and a haunting beauty.
I can already picture the rusted Ferris wheel against the backdrop of the Berlin skyline, a melancholic reminder of a bygone era. It sounds like the perfect place for urban exploration and a glimpse into a forgotten world.
You're right, it's a place where nature has reclaimed what was once a human creation, creating a strange and captivating atmosphere. It's a reminder of the cyclical nature of time and the impermanence of all things.
Now, no discussion of Berlin would be complete without mentioning its culinary scene, from traditional German fare to international flavors and trendy street food. Berlin offers a culinary adventure for every palate.
Absolutely. Berlin's culinary landscape is a reflection of its history and its multicultural identity, offering a diverse and delicious tapestry of flavors.
Let's start with the classic Currywurst. I know it's a Berlin institution, a must-try for any visitor. What exactly is it?
It's a simple but satisfying dish of grilled sausage topped with a curry-flavored ketchup. You can find it everywhere in Berlin, from street vendors to restaurants, and it's a true taste of the city's culinary heritage.
And for those who are looking for something a bit heartier, what would you recommend?
Eisbein, a roasted pork knuckle, is a classic German dish that's sure to satisfy even the biggest appetites. It's typically served with sauerkraut and mashed potatoes, a hearty and flavorful meal that's perfect for a cold winter day.
And of course, we can't forget about doner kebab, a Turkish delight that's become a staple of Berlin street food.
You're right, doner kebab is a delicious and affordable way to fuel your explorations in Berlin. You can find it on almost every corner, and it's a perfect example of the city's multicultural culinary influences.
And for those with a sweet tooth, what would you recommend?
Pfannkuchen, a type of German pancake, is a popular choice. It's often served with fruit-powdered sugar or Nutella, a sweet and satisfying treat that's perfect for breakfast or dessert.
Okay, now I'm officially craving a taste of Berlin. It's fascinating how the city's culinary scene reflects its history and its multicultural identity, offering something for every taste and budget.
You can find delicious and affordable food all across the city, from street vendors to Michelin-starred restaurants. Berlin is a city that embraces its culinary diversity, and it's a joy to explore.
All this talk about exploring and experiencing Berlin's energy makes me think about those everyday moments that really capture the soul of a city.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not just about the big attractions or the flashy nightlife. It's about those quieter moments where you connect with the local culture, the rhythm of daily life.
Exactly. And I feel like cafes play a big role in that. Berlin is practically synonymous with cafe culture. Every neighborhood seems to have its own unique collection of cafes, each with its own personality and loyal following.
You're absolutely right. Cafes in Berlin are more than just places to grab a coffee and a pastry. They're social hubs, creative spaces, places where you can relax, read People Watch, or strike up a conversation with a stranger.
Yeah, it's like stepping into a microcosm of the neighborhood, experiencing the local vibe in a really intimate way. Okay, so where should we start our cafe hopping adventure? I'm craving a strong coffee and a slice of something delicious.
Well, if you find yourself in Kreuzberg, you can't go wrong with Five Elephant. They roast their own beans, and their cakes are legendary. It's a popular spot for both locals and tourists, but it still retains that authentic Berlin feel.
Five Elephant, got it. Now what if I'm looking for something a bit more offbeat? A cafe that's a little quirky or unique?
Then head over to Anna Bloom in Prenzlauer Berg. It's a cafe and flower shop combined, creating a whimsical and fragrant atmosphere. Imagine sipping your coffee surrounded by blooms, pure bliss.
I love that it sounds like the perfect place to relax and soak up the beauty of everyday moments. What about cafes with a bit of history? I always find it fascinating to visit places that have been around for decades, witnessing the city's evolution.
For a taste of old-world charm, visit Café Einstein Stammhaus. It's a Viennese-style cafe that's been a Berlin institution since 1888. It's a place where you can imagine intellectuals and artists gathering to debate the issues of the day.
Wow, over a century of history, that's incredible. It sounds like the perfect place to escape the hustle and bustle of modern life and step back in time.
And if you're a book lover, Shakespeare & Sons is a must-visit. It's an English-language bookstore and cafe with a cozy and inviting atmosphere. You can browse books, enjoy a cup of tea, and perhaps even attend a reading or event.
It sounds like my kind of place. I can already picture myself curled up in a corner with a good book and a cup of coffee, soaking up the literary atmosphere.
You know what I find fascinating about Berlin's cafes is that they offer a glimpse into the city's soul. They're places where people from all walks of life come together, where conversations flow freely, and where creativity seems to permeate the air.
Yeah, it's a testament to Berlin's welcoming and inclusive spirit. Cafes are like microcosms of the city itself, diverse, vibrant, and full of life.
So whether you're a coffee aficionado, a bookworm, or simply looking for a cozy spot to people watch, Berlin's cafes are an essential part of experiencing the city's unique tapestry.
They offer a taste of local life, a chance to slow down and savor the moment, and perhaps even spark a new friendship or creative inspiration. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive into Berlin, I can't help but feel inspired to start planning my trip. We've covered so much ground, from the historical landmarks to the hidden gems, the vibrant neighborhoods to the tranquil parks, the bustling markets to the cozy cafes. It's clear that Berlin is a city that truly has something to offer everyone.
It's a city that rewards those who venture beyond the surface, who seek out the unexpected and embrace the unconventional. It's a city that's constantly evolving, yet always rooted in its rich history and its unique blend of grit and grace.
So to our listeners, I encourage you to approach your Berlin adventure with an open mind and a curious spirit. Let the city be your guide, and I have no doubt that you'll create memories that will last a lifetime.
And remember, the best travel experiences often come from those moments of serendipitous discovery, stumbling upon a hidden cafe, striking up a conversation with a local, or simply getting lost in the city's energy.
Until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep seeking out those hidden gems that make the world such a fascinating and beautiful place.